Hey, football fans, it's rivalry week, and we're all getting a little heated. But here's a burning question that's stirring up more controversy than a bad referee call. Does college football have a flag planting problem? If you've been watching college football lately, you've probably noticed something odd happening at the end of several high-stakes games. It's not just the final score, it's the flag planting phenomenon. You know the drill. After a big win, the victorious team takes a flag, often with their logo, marches onto the opponent's turf, and plants it right in the middle of their precious field. Seems innocent enough, right? Just a little friendly trash talk with a flag. No harm done? Well, apparently, it's more than that. It's triggering brawls, fisticuffs, and even a couple of viral moments that had us all wondering if we're watching football or the next big WWE event. So let's dive into this flag-tastic mess and see if we're dealing with a full-blown flag crisis, or if this is just the price of victory in college football's biggest rivalries. What's with the flag? Let's start with the basics. Flag planting isn't exactly a new tradition. The act of planting a flag on enemy territory has been around for centuries. Think back to military conquests. When you take over an area, you stick a flag in the ground to mark your territory. So it kind of makes sense that teams would want to plant a flag to celebrate taking down a rival team. It's a statement. We were here. We won. And we're staking our claim. But here's the twist. College football has somehow turned this military tradition into a must-do post-game ritual. And not just any ritual, but a confrontational one. What used to be a proud victory dance has now become an invitation to a brawl. And honestly, I can't decide if it's thrilling or terrifying. Maybe a little bit of both. Flag planting drama of rivalry weekend. Now, let's talk about the most chaotic rivalry weekend in recent memory. Picture this. Michigan beats Ohio State in Columbus. Huge upset, right? You know what happens next. Michigan's Derek Moore storms the field holding the famous maize and blue flag. But before he can really get his celebration going, enter Ohio State senior Jack Sawyer. Who's not having it? Jack sees that flag, and like any good Ohio State player, he's not going to let the Wolverines have the last laugh on his turf. Cue the drama. A tug of war over the flag. Hands everywhere, tempers flaring, and before you know it, the whole scene looks more like a rugby scrum than a football game. And that's not even the end of it. No, this is college football, and things have a way of escalating. Fast forward to Clemson, where South Carolina players decide to plant their own flag at the center of the Tiger Paw logo. Which, by the way, is a sacred spot for Clemson fans. Naturally, this led to an altercation that was so intense, they might as well have been playing rugby. But wait, there's more. NC State safety, Cyrus Fagan, plants his team's flag on the North Carolina field after their thrilling win. While Florida's George Gums Jr. does the same in Tallahassee after Florida defeats Florida State. The result? A field full of angry coaches, fans, and some very regrettable flag planting actions. The escalating chaos, flag planting turns violent. Okay, we've had the fun part, the rivalry. Now let's talk about the real issue. These flag planting celebrations didn't stay in the realm of good-natured ribbing. No, they quickly evolved into violent clashes. And I'm not just talking about some shoves here and there, no. I mean full-blown brawls. In Ohio State, things got so intense that law enforcement had to step in, and one of the officers even needed medical attention after trying to break up the altercation. That's right, fans and players went wild over some flags. South Carolina's win over Clemson was marred by similar violence, with players and fans getting physical on the field. The flag was no longer just a symbol of victory, it was a weapon. Coaches aren't exactly thrilled either. Florida State's Mike Norvell was seen tossing the flag off the field. And Clemson's Dabo Swinney called the flag planting a bad look. His words, it was scary. And it was dangerous. The coaches' frustration is clear. They're worried about their players' safety. And rightfully so. When something as simple as a flag can spark such violence, you know there's a bigger issue at play. The call for action. Should flag planting be banned? So here's the million-dollar question. Should college football ban flag planting? Conferences are beginning to speak up about the growing issue. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark suggested that all major conferences should get together to create a unified policy on flag planting. Our approach must be aggressive. This is unacceptable, he said, and ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips echoed similar sentiments. But it's not just about making rules, it's about enforcing them. The Big Ten imposed a $100 fine on both Michigan and Ohio State for their post-game chaos. Other conferences, like the SEC, are taking a more preventative approach by advising teams to remove flags from the field before the final whistle blows. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey even joked that if players want to plant flags, they should play, capture the flag, or join the military. But here's the real kicker. Some players and coaches don't think flag planting is the problem at all. Former NFL player Jason Avant, now a sideline reporter for Michigan, had a different take. It's classless to start fighting over a flag, he said, but he also admitted that Michigan didn't take offense when Texas did the same thing on their field earlier in the season. So, maybe it's just a part of the rivalry game. Victory is sweet. And flag planting is a loud, obnoxious way to let the other team know they've been defeated. The flag, tradition or tension? Flag planting has deep roots in college football tradition. But the line between tradition and tension is starting to blur. It's clear that the act is no longer just a harmless celebration, it's become a catalyst for conflict. Coaches and conference officials are now looking for ways to minimize the violence. But will banning flag planting actually solve the problem? Or will it just create another layer of tension? One thing's for sure, college football is going through a transformation. With new media rights deals, expanded playoff systems, and rising tensions on the field, this once innocent act of celebration has become a symbolic battleground for college football culture. Will we see more fights and fines in the future? Only time will tell. So, what do you think? Should flag planting become a thing of the past? Or is it just a part of the passionate college football rivalry culture? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown of college football's flag planting fiasco, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome sports content. And don't forget to share this video with your friends. Until next time, keep the flags flying, and hopefully, keep the fighting to a minimum. Hey, football fans, it's rivalry week, and we're all getting a little heated. But here's a burning question that's stirring up more controversy than a bad referee call. Does college football have a flag planting problem? If you've been watching college football lately, you've probably noticed something odd happening at the end of several high-stakes games. It's not just the final score, it's the flag-planting phenomenon. You know the drill. After a big win, the victorious team takes a flag, often with their logo, marches onto the opponent's turf, and plants it right in the middle of their precious field. Seems innocent enough, right? Just a little friendly trash talk with a flag. No harm done? Well, apparently, it's more than that. It's triggering brawls, fisticuffs, and even a couple of viral moments that had us all wondering if we're watching football or the next big WWE event. So let's dive into this flag-tastic mess and see if we're dealing. Hey there, football fans. American football, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, give this video a big like, and don't forget to share it with your friends, because you know they'll want to hear about this wild game. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Michigan just pulled off a shocking upset over Ohio State. But the real fireworks? They came after the game. So grab your popcorn, and let's break down the Michigan versus Ohio State showdown, and the chaos that followed. Michigan stuns number 2 Ohio State, 13-10 in a brawl at midfield. Let's start with the game itself. The Michigan Wolverines, coming off a huge win streak, just dealt a crushing blow to Ohio State's playoff hopes, taking down the number 2 team in the country, 13-10. Yep, you heard that right, 13-10. If you were expecting a high-scoring shootout, well, you're in the wrong stadium. This was a grinded-out, defensive slugfest that saw both offenses flounder more than a fish out of water. In fact, it was a game where both teams seemed to be trying to lose at times. There were interceptions, missed field goals, and more penalties than you could shake a flag at. But in the end, Michigan came out on top, and not just in the score column. With 45 seconds left on the clock, Michigan